Hello, I'm Cressida Kuala from Porgera district in Papua New Guinea. I am an indigenous Ipili woman and I represent indigenous people who are from 40 mining affected communities in Porgera district. Our voices are not really tolerated or welcomed to have roundtable discussion in a sensitive area where we are being affected together because of the mine impact, but men are always the decision maker. But we are seen as only women in the society and not as resource owner. When we feel the impact of the loss and damages of the environment that we belong to, that's the only source of our strength for doing our subsistence farming and produce food for the family. I realized that there was something going on after 25 years of mining. So I stood up to defend the environment degradation issues, and I started to write about it and found out that women were also raped, pack raped, and they were physically assaulted and detained as well. I founded the Porgera Red Wara River in brackets Women's Association to document the stories, write the stories so that they can be heard, they can be read, and people who can read and understand can create solutions and standard guideline where we can use as a tool to talk to our government and our provincial and local leaders to create a culturally appropriate remedy mechanism that can be acceptable to our society, where women and young girls can make sure that their rights are fulfilled. This violence experienced by women in my area has reduced, and they know how to report their stories and they know how to talk about the issues that they are going through, and they can go to the police with the medical report to report cases, and it's a big difference in the lives of the women in Porgera. I'm being threatened, I'm being assaulted. I don't see any violence just to speak about what is true, but the violence and the threats coming to me is very heavy, and I feel that I'm doing something very powerful and I cannot stand down. I can have access to the international platforms to get my government to listen and create the mechanisms that we need to see changes. Our government has no excuse to not to adapt these international standard guidelines and law in the system, in our governance system.